You're listening to the SS Experience on SMG.
All right, what up, though? You listen to the SS Experience on 1067 The Beat and the SMG Podcast Network app. Make sure you download the SMG Podcast Network Apple app on all your Apple devices. Android, as always, I'm getting to you. Visually, you know what's going on right now, but for the audio audience, I got a real special guest. And when I say special guest, like this is one of those special guests where it's like you could not believe that this person is in the studio with you recording a show. Like this is one of those fantasy type situations where it's like, what would I do if this were to ever happen? And guess what? I'm actually living it right now. So with no further ado, let me go ahead and introduce my guest real quick. You may have seen her before, but we're not talking about right now. We'll get into that a little bit later, though. I got Schanell, aka BKA, y'all know as Roxy Reynolds, and she's here with her fragrance line that she has dropped, and she's starting a 12-city tour, and the tour is starting off in Columbus on March 31st. So we want to go ahead and get into that first, you know what I'm saying, before we get into all of the other stuff that you probably may want to know about. Schanell, Roxy, what's going on?
Hey, what's up, Rashad? Happy to be here.
So we out here in the A, and you out here working. So what you got going on in the city right now?
Right now, I have a few stops to make, photo shoots to do, and drops.
Promoting the tour.
Definitely promoting the Untold Truth Fragrance,
Nice.
the
Nice.
12-city tour
Nice.
with Constance Apothecary and Generic Natural Glow.
So since you retired, what made you get into the fragrance game?
It was something I always wanted to do. I don't know if I should look at you or the camera.
You can look at me like the camera,
the camera's just background.
Yeah.
Okay.
The camera's just there.
Okay, yeah. So it was something I always wanted to do as Roxy. But I focused more on toys and things in the adult entertainment industry. But I definitely was thinking outside the box for like one of the first porn stars to have their own fragrance.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm glad I waited because I decided to retire and then use my actual real name so that I can leave like a family legacy. Other than the Roxy Reynolds building that and conquering that, I decided to start something with Schanell.
Okay, and that's one of the main reasons why I wanted to ask, like, what audience are we attracting? Because when you say Roxy Reynolds, it brings a different type of audience. So we want to make sure that we get the appropriate people.
Exactly.
Not saying that you don't want them because they're gonna buy some fragrances. All day buy fragrances, but we all know what the business is. You know what I'm saying? We got Schanell, aka Roxy Reynolds, promoting her 12 city tour on 1067 B and the SS Experience. So you said that you fragrance and you got into it after porn, whatever. So what's something that was a challenging thing to get that going? Since a lot of people may want to do that one day, or just talk about how that came about.
Okay, so the challenges that I faced was once when I did go to create fragrances and get pricings for the fragrance, meeting the chemist, creating the boxes, the bags for the actual products. I went as Roxy Reynolds and they charged me in between 50 to 80% of a difference.
Mm-hmm.
When I went back the second time as Schanell. It was about a 50 to 80% drop difference in the prices. So I always tell people to wear their truths unapologetically, because when you go as yourself, you get what you need and what you want. When you go as someone else, you only get what they give you.
Mm-hmm.
That's to say, I'm glad I went back with actually using my real name, because I went back and it was like a totally different price tag on it. Now I met a chemist. I did about 4 cities. I went to, of course, the biggest cities in the country: New York, California, Florida, in Chicago. I went there and I didn't really find my niche there. The price was a little weird, and then I'm independent. I do everything myself. I don't have any investors.
Mm-hmm.
No middleman at all. So I did some more research. It took me about a year of my retirement. I did research, and then I found a good chemist right there in the Midwest, East Coast, in Pittsburgh.
Okay.
And then I created about 20 different fragrances. I did a family party, and I had everyone go around and tally which one they actually liked.
Cause that's why I wanted to get into like the process of the fragrances. Like, what smell was you looking for to associate yourself with that?
Let's see. So my scent that I enjoy is a soft, clean, crisp, loud, but it's really mellow at the end. There's like 3 notes that I picked. The first one, I wanted it to come out really powerful and bold. The second note, I wanted it to be really clean and crisp. And then my third note, I wanted it to be sweet. So there's a little sweetness in it as well. It smells great. It's amazing.
Okay. And you got it in men's and women's.
So Untold Truth for the women's and Unapologetic for men.
Okay.
Cologne for men.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when you created the men's fragrance, was it around the same time as the women's, or did you know that I can get something for a guy as well?
It was a year later. I released the women's first. Actually, 2 years. I released the women's first, and then I released the men's.
Okay.
I wanted to make sure I put the ladies first. Although I have a more bigger male following, I definitely wanted the women to embrace their truths unapologetically. It's more like a movement. You can gracefully transition into who you really are, and it doesn't have to be so explicit. I get more respect now than I did as Roxy. It's like a totally different change. I mean, Roxy, I love Roxy. I created her. It wouldn't be Roxy if it wasn't for me. That's my alter ego. But when you're growing older and maturing and you have more knowledge, you would sit and think like, well, if I would have went this route, I would have been here with no regrets.
Right.
But,
Okay. No, because it's not surprising that you get more respect as Schanell than Roxy Reynolds. It's just brand recognition. That's pretty much all it is. And unfortunately, with some societies, the negative stigma of it. We'll talk about that. Like a little bit later. We want to focus on the tour. So we want to definitely talk about the fragrances and all of that. So 12 cities. You're starting off in Columbus. We are a radio show that is based in Columbus. So what was the importance of you starting your tour in Columbus? Because I know a lot of people, like I'm from Virginia. Trust me, if you think Timbaland and Pharrell starts their tour in Virginia Beach, hell no, they do not do that. You know what I'm saying? So what made it important for you to start your tour in Columbus?
Well, I haven't actually done any awareness in Columbus, Ohio for my fragrance. I did in Atlanta. I did a Macy's pop-up at Macy's in Lenox Mall in Atlanta, Georgia. I put my fragrance on the shelves there. And then I did another one in Century City Mall, LA, Beverly Hills. And then I did a pop-up party there as well at Macy's. And I never really had the opportunity to do a function in Columbus. So when I put the tour together after COVID and after actually gathering more information with my fragrance, getting more promotions for my fragrance, doing the website, getting more orders for the website, it became bigger. So then I said, now I'm ready for the tour.
Okay.
So I put the 12 city tour together, and I had to do Columbus first. For one, born in Southwest Philly, but raised in Columbus, Ohio, and I got to show love to the city first.
Yeah. Southwest Philly, you know what I'm saying? So are you like me and you're an Eagles fan?
I'm a Baltimore Ravens fan.
I respect that.
I love the Eagles, but I'm definitely a Baltimore Ravens fan because, the Baltimore Ravens were the original Cleveland Browns.
Of course.
Yeah.
And you rode with them.
I followed it.
Okay. I heard a lot of y'all was hurt though. When
I was hurt. I was hurt with that one because that's my backup team, and we lost. So
when the new Browns came, I'm glad that we just switched topics because that's pretty much how this goes. So Cleveland comes back and you just didn't sound like, well, my team is back. Like,
right.
You wasn't with that. You're like, nah, my team is Baltimore because y'all just won a Super Bowl.
Nah, I've been with Baltimore for a very long time. My mom's a Cleveland Browns fan. Big Cleveland Browns. I meant the whole garage is Cleveland Browns. So
that's just and Ohio State as well.
Yep, absolutely. I went there for about 2 years.
Okay.
Year and a half, 2 years. Wilberforce, University of Cincinnati, and Ohio State.
Okay, so know what I'm saying, Midwest girl.
Midwest.
Girl. Okay, nice. As visually you see what's going on, audio wise, got Schanell, aka Roxy Reynolds on 167 The Beat and the SS Experience. She's starting a 12 city tour March 31st out here in Columbus. What's your IG real quick? I know from the top of my head it's
At MRS.SCHANELL. Schanell.
the dot is what I would have messed up.
MRS dot.
I was about to say, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Where can we, and if you're listening on audio, you're just going to have to like watch it on YouTube, you know what I'm saying? Straight hilarious if we decide to keep it in. We may, I don't know, you know what I'm saying? It is funny. Y'all know me. I love to keep the funny stuff in, but we got Roxy Reynolds here, you know what I'm saying? We're not going to, you know what I'm saying, subject her to our craziness, you know what I'm saying? Not this time, you know what I mean? Maybe a little bit later. But people can get the fragrance now, right? And what was the website?
UntoldTruthFragrance.com.
All right, so make sure that you go ahead and run it up. And she'll know too, because she'll smell you. And if you got it on, she'll smell you. So she'll definitely know that you got the fragrance on deck already. So I'll be irresponsible if we didn't have Roxy Reynolds on the show and not talk about some things. Because as everybody pretty much would know, if you was a teenager, if you was a young adult, or let's just keep it all the way up buck. If you was a dude who just wasn't getting none, you know who Roxy Reynolds is. You may have some questions. So at Henny Hardaway 75 on Twitter, if you have any questions, you know what I mean? She's here. If you can see it on the visuals. Hit me up on my Twitter, ask me a question. I'll go ahead and read your question, and you know what I'm saying, we'll go ahead and get some of those answers. So in the meantime, you know what I'm saying, until we get your questions, I'll go ahead and start one, a softball one real quick. What got you into it?
Money.
Plain and simple.
Yeah.
When you look at the industry now, what would you say, you know what I'm saying, is something that has changed from your time that you've noticed?
I would say the transitioning definitely is from VHS tapes, and then to the DVDs, and then to websites, and then to social media, and then to different platforms.
Okay.
Like, there's OnlyFans now. Everything's digital. Like no one's sitting popping DVDs in their DVD player anymore.
So is it kind of like the same thing with music artists because nobody's buying CDs?
Absolutely.
Okay. Same.
Concept.
Yeah. Same crazy concept with Miss Schanell, aka Roxy Reynolds on 167 The Beat and the SS Experience. Make sure that you rate, review, subscribe, re-rate, re-review, re-subscribe, download, do all of that crazy stuff that everybody talks about on podcasts and anything that's a visual medium. So, like I said earlier, a lot of dudes, you know what I'm saying, young teenagers and all of that stuff, remember you from back in the day. If there was one artist
back in the day, it sound like you might making me old or something.
I just know my time watching, you know what I mean, was some sad nights and some you made a brother happy. Let's just say that. You know what I'm saying?
Walk of shame. Look at me.
You go to the club, you think you about to get something, then you end up not. You got to do something, you know what I'm saying? So I know a lot of you, look, I can say this because I'm here. I don't care, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to give her flowers, you know what I'm saying? A lot of dudes has been happy, you know what I'm saying, off of, you know what I'm saying, your work. And we're just going to keep it a buck like that. You know what I mean? I would be irresponsible not to say it to you that you've made a lot of guys, well, personally me, happy. Got to put that out there.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
So, if there was one person though that you, let's say that you didn't get a chance to work with in your career, you know what I mean, for whatever reason, who was somebody that you would have wanted to work with?
Denzel Washington.
A flick with Denzel Washington and Roxy Reynolds. You know what I mean? At Henny Hardaway 75 on Twitter. Would you pay to see Roxy Reynolds and Denzel Washington in a movie? You can talk about whatever movie you want, but we'll just put it on the poll.
Yes. Hollywood film movie. I would be a great actress.
What
with Denzel.
Okay, what role would you play? Like, okay, I'm not Denzel Washington, but I am Denzel Washington. Just for this conversation right here, what role could you do? What role would you want?
I like his detective movies where we're trying to figure out a crime or something. You know, I went to school for Spanish criminology, so I was into stuff like that. I think I would play a good role with him with solving mysteries.
Okay. So what? So all right. So you might know this. So Deja Vu or what's the movie with him and Eva Mendes in it? Out of Time? Is it Out of Time? If you know which movie I'm talking about,
Yeah.
you can. Which one you think is better? Which one you think was a better, Denzel detective-ish type
Eve,
movie?
I like that one. I like Eve, with the one with Eva. I did like that one. That one was a good one.
Okay. Well, I just know me with the Deja Vu one, the time travel part kind of intrigued me a little bit.
Yes.
So that's what made me like, okay, like I kind of like that a little bit. So mentioning Denzel in this, detective movies. I forget the one old school movie that he had. Was him and John Goodman where the killer kept singing "Time is," like he was.
Yeah.
Denzel was getting sing that too. You know what I'm saying?
Denzel cold.
Yeah. Denzel is definitely cold. You know what I mean? Definitely love that. So we got Roxy Reynolds here on the SS Experience. Make sure that you support the tour. So we're starting off March 31st out here in Columbus at mrs. Schanell on IG. Right?
Yep. And at Untold Truth Fragrance.
There you go. Make sure that you hit up all of those social media sites right there to go ahead and get tickets, get the fragrance.
Oh yeah, it's free. It's a free event. Pop up. It's from 6 to 9.
Okay.
All 12 cities is 6 to 9 except for New York. I had a special request from Candace Vaughn that New York needs to be open for about 8 hours. So we'll be there at a location on the website. UntoldTruthFragrance.com. You can find all the location addresses and the times. There's a link that I run on my page for promotion daily where you can select what city you're actually going to. You can RSVP there, and then I got like special gifts for them.
Okay.
Who did it in advance? It's open to the public. It's 3 hours. We're there. We're giving out gifts. We're spinning wheels. We have good music, good vibes. I have a few sponsors, really, really great sponsors. 50 Cent sponsored some liqueur for me as well as some champagne.
Okay.
And then the list goes on.
Nice.
It's very, very, it's a positive movement. Daylight savings time is what, spring forward? Yeah, so the time changes. So I think we get more daytime a little bit.
I love it. I love this time of year that we about to pull over.
Right. So, the weather's getting better. I just look forward to it. It's out of 12 cities, it's actually about a 3-month tour.
Okay.
It's that every other weekend, me, Candace, and Portia are on tour. We have a weekend together, and then we have a weekend off. A weekend together, and a weekend off.
And I wanted to ask you about that too. How did Candace get involved with it? Because I know a lot of you know Candace Vaughn as well. Know what I'm saying? So how did she get involved?
She went to school, and she has her massage therapist license. And she started a massage salve. It has CBD in it.
Okay.
She has gummies. She has lube. She has like a bath balm as well. It's liquid in a bottle.
Okay.
And then Portia Janier, which for Janier Natural Glow, that's on the tour as well. She has a facial serum. Portia's from Columbus too.
Nice.
Yeah, we went to Brookhaven together.
Okay. Nice. So we got a nice lineup that's with you, and they're gonna be throughout the whole tour.
Candace is going to every date. Portia has selective cities.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. So outside of Columbus, because that's home, so we're gonna exclude that one. Which tour date are you looking the most forward to?
Miami. I can't wait to get to that beach.
Mm.
I wish I could really set up the pop up on the beach in the sand, but it's always windy and stuff out there. It just won't work.
Right.
But I am right there on the beach, on Collins Avenue, at it is a hibachi. It's a new black-owned hibachi grill spot.
Okay.
It's right there on the beach from 6 to 9. And the owner, Mo, is from Detroit. So majority of my tour they're stressed out to people who've branched off to different states and started different businesses there. So within the tour, I'm still supporting people's businesses as well.
Nice. Because you did say earlier, you know what I'm saying, positive energy, positive vibes, and all of that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Definitely.
Cool. Got Miss Schanell, Roxy Reynolds on the SS Experience on 167 The Beat. Make sure that you rate and subscribe, support as always, you know what I'm saying, on the tour or whatnot. I'm not going to, normally I like to be messy and be like, well, which city's the least one that you want to do? But we're not going to do that yet.
Hold on,
Like we can
Wait,
say,
no, this how I created the whole tour.
it's like the NFL, you got to pull the schedule
You
out.
gotta pull it out. So what I did was I did 3 cities in the Midwest. I picked my top 3 cities I like in the Midwest. I picked my top 3 cities that I like on the East Coast. And then I picked my top 3 cities that I like in the South. And then I moved down to going towards the South and the West Coast. My top 3 cities that I like.
So we're gonna treat this like the NFL. Then we're gonna break down the schedule. All right, so we see Columbus, Detroit, and Chicago in the Midwest. I mean, it's not too many cities in the Midwest for real. I mean, if you want to add like Minneapolis or something like that, but nobody goes to Minneapolis. Not to crap on you, Minneapolis, but you know what I'm saying.
Indiana. You know, I could
not
have
over,
went there.
not over Detroit and Chicago.
Milwaukee, I've been to those places, but these are just my favorites. But I've been all throughout those other Midwest states because we have a few.
Okay.
Memphis, I love Memphis. I don't even have Memphis on there, and I need to add Memphis on there.
Okay, maybe the next 12.
Yeah, I was thinking about that, but I want to go across seas for the next 12.
Okay.
If it's safe. Because I don't know if we have war and all that right now or what's going on. But I can't go over there right now. But if it gets better, I would love to go over there. But in the meantime, I do want to do the next tour with smaller cities. Like Little Rock, Arkansas. You know, like places that I haven't really touched.
Okay.
Somewhere in, Tennessee's a long state. So there's like Knoxville, places like that.
Okay. Well, for my Virginia people, I got it. I'm going to ask.
Oh, VA? VA ain't even on here.
Where does Virginia Beach or Norfolk fall? You know what I'm saying? Because we're not on the East. We're not on your 3 favorite East Coast cities. We're like, okay, that's why I'm like, maybe she considers us the South.
Yeah.
So then I'm like, damn, there's Miami and Atlanta. I'm like, we can go to war with Charlotte. Like, May 12th, like, nah, Charlotte, y'all got to get up out the way, man. Virginia Beach needs that slot.
You know what? I did have some questions about Charlotte. I love Charlotte, but it was in between Virginia and Charlotte at one point in time.
Okay.
But Charlotte won the vote, yeah. But I am going to double back in Virginia.
Okay.
I can't just leave Richmond. I had a lot of hassle that Richmond, Virginia was not on this tour. Believe me.
So in Richmond, have you ever been to Candy Bar? In Richmond?
I might have. Is that DJ Joe Pro's one of his spots?
No, it's just one of the good dope spots in Richmond.
Is it a lounge or a strip club?
It's a strip club.
Oh, I haven't been there.
Okay. No, because like Richmond, like see, I'm from the 7-5, so I kind of like know a lot of stuff about the 7-5. I love that because you already know Joe Pro's down there.
Mm-hmm.
So I just figured out because like that was like the one spot that I always would frequently go to. Like some of your friends went there, you know what I'm saying, to host parties and host events. So I just thought one time that maybe you had just pulled up because you're giving a lot of love and shout out to Richmond. I'm like, dang, did I miss Roxy coming to Richmond one day?
Yeah.
And
I came there about 3 times a year. For like at least 6 years.
Well, I know most of them times I'm like, dang, man, I ain't got no bread to get out there, you know what I'm saying? Or I ain't got no bread for that, you know what I'm saying? But now, yeah. Different story because I work at a radio station and we're good, you know what I'm saying? We leveled up from college, you know what I'm saying? That's the whole point, you know what I'm saying? And again, with what, you know what I'm saying, you got going with Untold Truth, leveling up. Leveling up. So, last thing, because I definitely want to, you know what I'm saying, big you up on the transition from adult entertainer, we'll just say that, adult entertainer, to entrepreneur. What do you see similar in both of those hustles? You know what I'm saying? Between, working as an adult star and working in, being an executive or being an entrepreneur.
Consistency, organization, and having a team. Can't do it by yourself.
Okay.
A trustworthy, positive team with good energy that will never allow you to fail. They push you. Gotta have that support. I've always had that. And then, of course, you have to be consistent. and then you have to be organized with every step of the way. It didn't just happen overnight. I was retired 2015. Let me see, I released my fragrance 2018. Yep, because 19, the women's was out as well. COVID hit. I just released the men's around the end of 19, right in COVID area type. So you have to just continue to go. You know, you can't stop. If it's your vision, you're going to push it, and eventually people will migrate to that. You know, if you're excited about your product, they will too.
Okay.
You know, and then what I did was I decided to once I decided to retire in 2015. Not only did I start my Untold Truth fragrance, but I started a trucking company as well, me and my brother, called M&S Sanders Trucking. I'm a broker as well, so I broker some freight, as well as book the loads as a dispatcher with running the company. We have multiple trucks, and then I would put other people underneath my wing for the authority. I also have workshops in Columbus, Ohio as well. They're like 500. Sometimes I give like coupons with 200 off, so they're 300.
Okay.
Very knowledgeable workshops from A to Z to start your authority, even putting a driver in your truck, down to insurance, FMCSA regulations. So that's what I've been doing since 2015. I've been building 2 companies.
And I've seen you also post about the trucking company. I'm like, damn, man, I might learn how to ride an 18 wheel, drop an 18 wheel or something. You know what I'm saying? Give me some work on Roxy Reynolds again. I'm about to learn, shift some gears or whatnot. But you said that's something that you and your brother did, because how did you find that type of hustle? Because that's something that's like outside of the box for real, to, you know what I'm saying, own and have opportunities to do like freights and stuff like that. Because that's not just your normal, hey, I'm gonna start a podcast. You know what I'm saying? Like that's something that's like, I have to invest in this and get all of that stuff. So how did you just come up with that idea?
Well, my father was my inspiration. He's always been in logistics. My mom was also a broker at one point in time as well, before going into the healthcare industry. So it didn't just fall in my lap. I've been around it as when I was younger. It was something that I didn't recognize, but once I moved to Atlanta and I dated a guy that was driving a truck for a company, we started to study together and figure out how we can leave that company and start our own. I dated a guy in Atlanta who was driving for a company, and what I did was once we grew together, I upgraded and upscaled his knowledge of actually starting his own company and booking his own loads. And then me and my brother actually started a company together as well.
Okay.
I try to refrain from starting companies with men that I'm not married to.
Makes sense.
Because I don't want to have to stop a business ship or relationship because it's with a man and I have an actual husband that I'm trying to create in my life. You know, I don't want it to be messy or anything like that. So
no, that makes
business
sense.
Partners are cool, but actually having the LLC and the business structure together, the same bank account and all that, I can't do it. As in investments, yeah, you know, if you need knowledge, you can pay me for that. Like the classes, I like to help.
Mm-hmm.
Then yeah, but we never started a company together. We just kind of taught each other.
Okay.
So shout out to him as well.
Nah, because family and business don't mix, you know what I mean? So definitely keep that joint 100% separated. So Schanell, Roxy, it's always a pleasure, you know what I'm saying, to see you, you know what I'm saying, in any way, you know what I'm saying, shape or fashion. So remember the Untold Truth Tour starts March 31st out here in Columbus. UntoldTruthFragrance.com. Get all the information there, and follow on IG as well. You know what I'm saying? Definitely follow on IG, mrs.Schanell on IG. Still on Twitter, or you just know?
Yeah, I'm on Twitter too. My name is Miss Schanell, but it's still at Roxy Reynolds. I don't know how to change my @name on Twitter. I did it on Instagram, but I don't know how to do it on Twitter. So I changed the actual caption of what my title page was, so it is Miss Schanell, but it's still at Roxy Reynolds, which is
I'll show you. Well, you might be verified.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, see when you verify, they make it hard for you to change your name, which kind of sucks.
Yeah, whatever. I created her, so it's no big deal.
Yeah. mean, we are trying to get to that verified status. You know what I'm saying? Okay, we ain't trying to do the whole Elon must buy it on Twitter Blue. Nah, we're not doing that, Elon. Sorry, that's in the way. So, Schanell, man, thanks for being on the show.
Shout out to Shaheed with 106.7 a beat. Mwah.
Already.
You're listening to the SS Experience on SMG.